All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. I do believe it is 5 o'clock here on New Year's Day. I just want to take a moment and wish all of you who are going to be watching this video, and also just wish all of you a happy new year. So we have a few people coming on, and of course I always say that you can watch this at another point in time when it works for you. But I do just want to extend my gratitude and my wishes for all of you to have a beautiful new year. And we went through a hell of a year last year, right? So I'm sure a lot of us, I don't know, like for myself, this year was the first year that I didn't have too much anxiety with the year-end change, and I don't know if any of you have also felt that. If it was an easy transition for you this year, or was there a little bit of anxiety? I think we've kind of been through the ringer this last year, so for me, it was a freaking breath of fresh air. And Regina is on, and Lori is on, and so many beautiful people are joining in. So let me ask you, did you guys have anxiety with this change of this energy, or was it a breath of fresh air? Because for me, like I just said, that I think we've been working on ourselves so much this past year that I'm excited to move on, to release. I did a lot of releasing, and I know all of you guys have done a ton of releasing this last year. If you can remember, I had mentioned in the last year I had done a Facebook Live, and I had said that this was going to be the year of the dissension of our spirit. And truthfully, like, I knew it was going to be, you know, obviously just even saying that is like, what is that, you know, and what really does that mean? But I honestly had to say, I don't think I thought it was going to be as difficult as it was. I mean, this last year, 2019, was like a no joke year. A lot of us, like I said, had gone through you know, so many changes. So we have some people talking back here, a couple. All right, so a mix of both. You went back and forth, and Regina is good energy wise, so that's great. So that's good to hear that. So 2019, like I was saying, was all about the dissension of the spirit. It equaled a number 3, and to me, they were talking about you know, that's the Trinity, bringing back the mind, the body, and the spirit, and that integration. So it was all preparatory, and preparatory in the sense that, like I was saying, I really didn't get a full grasp of just how much prep work we were going to be doing for what is going to be happening. So before I begin and I go through all of that, if you guys go on my page, I picked, I did the card spread. So we got card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. And I'm going to reveal that at the end of Facebook Live, as I always do. So some of the things that I'm going to touch base on here today, I'm going to talk about the 1111s. I'm going to talk about the 144 frequency, because they're talking to me about sharing this information to you. One thing I want to mention is, did you guys watch the ball drop last night? And what song was playing? Anybody want to come back and say what song? I always talk about this song. It's one of my favorite songs. So we had Imagine last night that was being sung. And that, my friends, is all by divine guidance. That is absolutely divine upgrade. We all received an upgrade. And this is what I want to explain to you. When you hear a song, especially like a song like John Lennon, Imagine, there is so much that is happening to the collective conscious and the consciousness of a person when you're listening to that song, right? Or to another song that's very high vibration. So I wanted to talk about the song Imagine last night playing, and really what it stands for, and why it is such like, to me, this can be our song for this decade, because that is, as what I do here and when I work with my clients as an ascension teacher, it is really to help people awaken to the song of what John Lennon was talking about, and the message that is transcendental. It's always going to transcend time and space. It's always going to be relevant, and his vision and his words have no boundaries. It's eternal. So I couldn't even believe, but I could believe, and it was so poignant and so perfect that they were playing this song, and how he spoke about, if you even listen to the lyrics, I know you all know the lyrics of Imagine, but if you really sit and dissect like what he meant with imagining there's no heaven, it's easy if you try, no hell below us, and really what that all means. That, just think about all of the people coming together, not feeling separate, not having hate towards a religion. And a lot of us know that, we've come here and we've experienced the separation, and what is happening in 2020 is hopefully what the whole song of Imagine really stands for. Us coming together in unity, not with this divide of heaven and hell, in this place of unity. Even religion, if you talk about religion, and I'm not, hating on religion, but, it is a structure, a foundation that places fear, and people fighting over, what religion is better, their religion is better, and that is exactly the opposite of what unity is. So welcome everybody. We have more people coming on. Yes, very blessed to watch the ball drop last night with the song Imagine, which is a perfect song for the decade. So I am putting that out there, that this is the song for 2020. And if we can all join together and live his vision of Imagine, we are going to change the world. My husband literally says that I'm a dreamer, because of this. And I said, but it takes one person, and one person, it's that pebble in the lake. It ripples out. And when all of those people last night, think about the unity. Oh my God, I got chills right now. Think about the unity and the power of that unity of people who were there last night, watching the ball drop and hearing, these words emanate. I mean, it brought I have like such chills right now. My hair on my arms are standing, and all of us who were listening and watching, we become unity consciousness. So I don't know, I'm freaking excited. Yes, I am dreaming on, like my cousin is saying. I am definitely, in a good place with that, so for sure. All right, so I'm going to talk about, I guess I should just go into the 144's and the 1111's. So you guys, I'm sure, have been seeing a ton of 1111's, maybe more so than ever. I mean, I've always seen the number 1111, but wow, I am seeing that all hours, not all hours of the day, but like each and every day I'm seeing it on license plate, and it is a collective connection. Okay, it also means, of course, that you are going through a spiritual evolution. Maybe you're going through a different phase in your life and you're expanding, of course. It's the number of Archangel Metatron, who is so present these days. But it's also telepathic. It's an energy of telepathy. It is an energy of unity. Okay, they're mirror numbers, right? So I am you, you are me, right? And Regina's saying she's been seeing 222. 222 is the Mary Magdalene number, so it is a warrior number. So try to connect with Mary Magdalene and just feel her energy. And you, of course, my friend Regina, are a kick-ass warrior that we all know. So that's appropriate that you've been seeing that number. But so the 144's and the 1111's, they are powerful code frequencies. They're light codes, there are DNA recalibrations, like all of this stuff that when you're going through your spiritual awakening, which I'm going to kind of touch base on for those of you who are new to the awakening process, and for those of us who have been on this, journey for quite some time. I have had some people message me and they're like, I like what you say, but I don't really understand all of it, but somehow it makes sense. Like it makes sense like inside, even though I might not understand the terminology. So I'm going to try to incorporate a little bit of the information for those of you who are beginning the awakening process, and those, of course, it will be relevant for those who already are awakened. So I just made a new page. I am sure some of you have gotten my invites. It's the 144 Lightworkers Unite, the new golden age of Gaia. They've been talking to me for so long about the 144s and wanted me to put up a page on Facebook, and literally one day, I've been kind of dragging my butt, been tending to my own health stuff, and woke up the other day and was like, today's the day. So I put that out there. If you haven't gotten my invite, take a look onto that page, because I'm going to be sharing all of these types of information. It's a group of unity. I talk about unity conscious all the time in my channelings and sessions and meditations that I hold here, and that's really what the 144 is. It's literally a harmonic frequency of unity consciousness. So I guarantee you, I always know that when I do these Facebook lives, it's also activating things within you. Like I always tell people, there's things happening underneath the surface, when we do meditations or, healings and stuff like that. And they're like little downloads, if you will. So you might start seeing the 144 more now. You might start seeing an influx of the 1111s. So we have those mirrors, the 1111, the telepathic communication. It's also a twin flame number. So the twin flame numbers, both of them are 144 and 1111, and they're mirrors. Multi-layered meanings to all of these things. Spirit is not messing around anymore. There's, no time and space. They want to get the messages to you, multi-meaning. So, yes, always, Regina says. So, all right. So we got the 1111s down. That's a new jump in your awakening process. It's a wave coming in of light codes for those who are not awakened, and they're coming in. So I want you to pay attention. I've said this in the last Facebook Live. And pay attention to the 144s. Now the 144s are also, they've been prophesized. They've been prophesized in the book of Revelations. They've been prophesized in the Emerald Tablets. The Native Americans have spoken about the 144s. Trying to think, Ashtar Command, right? So for those of you, I work a lot with the galactic frequencies and the galactic light beings, and what the 144s are. They are, I guess in a nutshell, so we have the frequency of 144, which is unity consciousness, but then there's also this prophesized of the 144 souls that are here to help awaken along with the earth energy and people in this collective awakening process. So we are assisting. Now, from what I have been told from my guides is that, and this doesn't mean that if you're not a 144, if you are, there really is none of that. We're all collectively doing our role and doing our part, like imagine, to bring together this unity and this connection. But it has been prophesized, you can look that up, where the 144 souls come in. They are like a time clock goes off in them, which has happened to me, and it starts bringing you back to unity. So you do your work on yourself and go through your spiritual awakening and your process, and you also activate others. I'm a Reiki master teacher. It's a beautiful way to activate and awaken, help awaken a person to themselves. So these 144s have been prophesized. They talk about too, we just really entered into the 26,000 year cycle, and that's been prophesied too about the 144s. It's called like the Kali Yuga, which is, I think in the book of Revelations, it talks about like the end of days, but it's not in, death and destruction and the earth blowing up and that's it for mankind. It's literally what my new page, the 144 Lightworkers, it's the new age, this golden age awakening on planet Earth. The Hopis have spoken about it. I talk about the Hopis all the time, where they prophesized that there was going to be this grand awakening to the Blue Kachina, where you're basically moving from one level. In our terminology, it's going from the third dimension to the fifth dimension and clearing, going through and bridging, being in the third dimensional body and bridging the fifth dimensional body. They've spoken about that too. So you can see where all of these ancients have all spoken about the same thing, and there's reason for that, because the ancients hold this earth wisdom, these earth keeper wisdoms, this wisdom. So this is all, you see how it kind of comes all full circle now, right? We have, the end of days, the end of darkness, if you will, now that we're moving into this 2020. So this is why we have been working our asses off in the last decade, really. Think about how different you are and how much you have changed. How many people became awakened in the year from 2010 to 2020, right? Many people, that's the time clock going off. And for those of you who are new to this, and are awakening in the beginning stages of awakening, there's many things that happens to your body, okay? I keep this here so I can kind of gauge where I am, and let me just grab that. Okay, so when you do have that little time clock go off, you start to go through all your changes, right? This is what I talk about the light level bodies all the time, because essentially as we evolve and as we go through, the descension process of our Holy Spirit into our body, so we can have that fifth dimensional light energy come into our physical body, what do we have to do? We have to make room for it. And how do we make room for it? So just like in layman's terms, we need to clear the darkness, clear the clutter, clear the junk, all that stuff that's been weighing in our cells and in our bodies, the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, and the spiritual body. And when that time clock goes off, then you start to do the process of clearing all that out. So for many of you, you will have bouts of not feeling well. You will get the flu. You might get the flu every year. You might have flu-like symptoms a couple of times a year. A lot of when you're dropping density, I think 2 days before New Year's, my body was killing me. I just felt sore, and sometimes it can feel like you have, fibromyalgia. So what that is that your body is clearing the density. And this process doesn't stop, mind you. There's just varying degrees of intensity. So when I first awakened, I was sick all the time. You have chronic fatigue. You feel exhausted. Some of you get a lot of headaches, because what's happening is the left and the right hemispheres are changing. You're really starting to change the brain synapses, how you start to think. A lot of us can have like the third eye or sinus headache because your pituitary glands and pineal gland is starting to expand. Some of you can start feeling different energies in the body. You might get tingling sensations in the body, and signs of with your nerves, like your nerves can be overactive too as well. So you might have, God, I remember when I went through my awakening, I had a bout of Bell's palsy. And of course, when I went to the neurologist, they didn't find anything because there were so many things underneath that was taking place and happening to my body in order to bring in more light. When you are descending your spirit, your Holy Spirit, into your earthly 3D container, and you're bringing in this higher light, like I said, you have to remove it. You have to remove all that density. And this is essentially what is happening with Earth and all of its people, right? So you're going through all of your processes too, okay? Everybody's going through that. And it's really so that you can hold more light in your body. And the more light you hold in the body, the more you start to shift in your perception. Another thing they were telling me too, and this has been happening with a couple of clients in healing sessions who are in the beginning stages, they'll start to see an eye looking back at them. So if you're meditating and all of a sudden you see this eye, that's your eye. That's your spiritual sight. That's your third eye, which is, very commonly known as. But that's your spiritual sight. And what starts happening is you start to really connect to that and utilize that sight instead of your human eyes, which is, behind the veil of illusion. It's, fueled by ego and fear. Your true eye is the all-seeing. It's called literally the all-seeing eye. So these are the different things that when you become awakened, for those of you who are in the beginning stages, it's like a little calling back. You start to question, why am I here? What is all of this? What is the purpose? So if you start finding yourself, because remember, your synapses in your brain is starting to change. So you start to question these things. Instead of, just going around day to day, not thinking, just kind of thinking 9 to 5, what you got to do with the kids and so on and so forth, if you have kids, or just like what all the, the responsibilities that you have to meet. There's also that other part of you that starts to question, why is this happening? Why is this person in my life? What am I here for? I feel like I'm here for a bigger purpose. So these are all the things that you can, start to think about. And that's the change. That's the part where you become awakened and you start the journey of going back and clearing and healing, and you go through all the light levels. And you can remain in a light level body for years. For years I was in one particular light body where it was, very painful. I had a lot of illness and sickness and re-evaluation. So I'm going to talk about that too. Last year was a year of reevaluation of everything. What was, we're moving into 2020, which is balance. It's a 4, okay? So last year was, a lot of relationships were coming to an end. Things that you were tolerant on or maybe pushed under the rug, no longer. Your friendships will change. A lot of friendships ended. A lot of relationships ended in 2019. Okay, Lauren's saying that she's got to go. But definitely, Happy New Year's to you. Yeah, just continue watching when this works. I'm only going to be a few more minutes because I don't want to hold everybody up for too long. Okay, so a lot of reevaluation, all right? There's a lot of souls. I talk about this usually around December, January. A lot of souls start crossing over because the change in the vibration. So you can see that as well. I mention that, quite often when we have these big influxes of energy that are coming in. Okay, so as you move up through the light body process, you're going to have many different things happen, which is what I stated before. Reevaluations in relationships, ending relationships. Your friends are going to change. You're going to not resonate with a certain person. A lot of 2019 was karmic energy relationships really coming to a head. You're kind of weaning through all of the people with, you know, the karmic ties that you've had. So you might notice that you become friends with somebody and it's really strong and you guys are friends, and then all of a sudden that just dissipates, or something happened between you guys and, you know, you ended the relationship. That's all karmic energy that is coming to a close. Going into this new decade, we don't want to take anything really on, obviously, from 2019, because we've done so much, all of this work and all of the, you know, even that decade, like we're starting a fresh new decade. And I think that's why also, you know, for the first time that, yeah, this New Year's, I was like, wow, this is like a breath of fresh air. There are a couple of archangels that made themselves known who are working with us. Archangel Uriel, which I love working with Archangel Uriel. I speak about him a lot. He is the angel, the awakening angel, the illuminator. So just even think about everything that I've been speaking about so far, about becoming, all this whole wave of people becoming awakened. During the awakened process, not only, like I mentioned, you're going to talk about or think about like why you were here. Your friends are going to change. Your diet's going to change. My son is going through this, you know, his awakening for the last couple of years, and his diet dramatically changed, which was part of his awakening. But he's really starting to notice now, when he's doing something, how his body feels, how his vibration shifts. That's another thing that you're going to experience, how your body is feeling with certain things that you do or put into it, okay? It's because your senses are now being heightened. When you bring more light into your body is now recognizing it as an energy source, as a food source. So you're going to really start to feel to eat very healthy, maybe even become vegan, not eat meat, or there'll be times when you crave something particular, not wanting to drink or smoke. I've talked about this many times. That's what happened to me. I just quit smoking, quit drinking. I haven't had a sip of alcohol in 10 years. I think I'd have a heart attack if I had a drink at this point. But I have no desire. Okay, so this archangel, Archangel Uriel, he helps illuminate. He's like that shiner on situations, that clarity. He helps awaken you. And Archangel Gabriele has been coming in almost in every session lately. So her energy has been so very present, because what she does is not only she's part of the creative energy, she's also the archangel to help you with your soul mission. So for many of my clients, they're starting to question and want to go in a different direction. This is what I was saying. When that time clock goes off in your body and you start to say, hey, yeah, what I've been doing doesn't resonate, you know, I'm feeling like I'm here for a bigger purpose, and all of that, that is Archangel Gabriele. So yes, Jen's coming on, Happy New Year's, and Regina is saying, yeah, no meat, all vegan. And listen, I have a hamburger every now and again, but there's many times when I just, like lately I've been craving vegetables. You know, that's what my body needs at this point in time, okay, because it's clearing out. So Uriel, illuminating the way for you, illuminating and clarity. Of course, I've always talked about him and his energy, how he helps integrate the dark and the light. This is what 2020 is. Okay, so 2019, we did all of our clearing work, so many karmic relationships, the major shift. This has been all preparatory. I've said this before, all preparatory for what we are going to be doing. There's going to be a lot of people who are going through holding on to the old. You're going to see this too, and this is where my role and your role really steps up. This is why we've been doing all of our soul work so deeply, so we can be those anchors and those the wisdom and the anchor for the people who are going through the process and who are having a hard time. Okay, So yeah, my cousin's saying, you know, he's vegan too. He's been a vegan for quite a long time, if I remember correctly, you saying that. So Uriel, Gabriele, Archangel Michael, he was the first archangel that came to me, and rightfully so, because when I was awakening, I was going through a lot of fear. I've spoken about this many times in the Facebook Live. So we're going through the 2020 balance of integration. Remember, I was saying it's all about balance. Now, this is in the Kali Yuga. In Hinduism, they talk about these end of days. And again, it's not really the end of, you know, life itself. It is literally the end of the old, okay? So this is the dark, you know, now really starting to come into balance with the male principle and the female principle in the body. Think of the yin and yang, or the yin and yang symbol, okay? That's balance. This is what 2020 is really going to be. So one, of course, if there's still things that are not in balance in your life, it's going to be shown to you. That is Archangel Uriel. So when you're in that position where you're like, okay, my stuff is coming up, I normally would maybe want to turn away and not address things, you might notice a little more desire to really face things head on. Call in Archangel Uriel, because he will help with that. He will light the path for you, okay? So this is where they're all coming in. Gabriele, this creative energy, oh my God, we're really starting to tap into this creative energy. And even just going back to, you know, imagine a lot of people are starting to have that creative energy awaken in them, where maybe if they didn't draw, they feel like they want to draw, or if they didn't sing, they're singing, writing songs, writing poems, any forms of communication. You know, there's many different forms of communication: music, singing, dancing, you know, speaking, writing. That is, yes, Regina is saying, the infinite, right? So I literally all day today, thank you, Regina, because you just totally made me remember. I was just talking to my cousin about this before. All day long, infinite creator, and it is all about this creative energy now with 2020 is going to explode. And that's why I was so excited, you know, referencing the Imagine song, because that song obviously is from creative source to help shift the consciousness of mankind. And so many people are going to be doing that now through their creative words, through their creative thoughts. So you might notice yourself something you've never done. Like last year, I started drawing like spirit guide portraits. I don't really draw, but that was part of me awakening that creative energy. And remember, everything I talk about, it has multi-layers. So we have the infinite creator. You are literally awakening the infinite creative reality within you, that you are the infinite creator, okay? There was a symbol, God, the last channeling that I did here, I think it was 1212. That was a very big symbol, the infinity symbol. And I'm going to actually post it up after this Facebook Live, because it is literally just perfectly symbolizes being the infinite creator. So we have that creative energy awakening, that going back to that unity, which you are creator. So we're moving past this darkness, this dark ages basically, which is what we've been in. And we've been working on our dark side and our, you know, the darkness within. That's Uriel. And now we're starting this new golden age of Gaia. That's why that new Facebook page I just put up is all about that. It's all about this new golden age of awakening on Gaia. So you are going to see so many people awakening, so many people starting to express from their heart centers. So another thing that when you go through the light level awakening process is the opening of the heart. Yes, and Regina, I'll definitely going to put that up after the symbol up after a Facebook Live. It was just beautiful. It's an infinite, the infinity symbol, but it was just beautiful in the like ascended master color, that cobalt blue that I just love so much. So you're going to see a lot of people awakening. Okay. I just want to state real fast before I forget that Archangel Gabriele works with the diamond light frequency. So a lot of you can maybe start to see diamond symbols, or just really start to connect with this frequency as it's activating the diamond light body within you. It also, she works with your karmic destiny, what you are truly here to do. Remember I was saying, like, she opens new doors. This is when you're going to start wanting to go in a different direction, okay? This is your karmic destiny, what you are here to do. And they wanted me to say earlier that there is not one person whose role is insignificant, because if you think about you change and bring more light in your body, you are automatically affecting the whole. And if we just look at it in wholeness, in oneness, if we look at it from the creator aspect, you are the creator, right? So you are everything. So within, so without. It's what I talk about all the time. As above, so below, so within, so without. Everything you do affects the whole. And that's what, like, the Native Americans always talked about, you know, how their teachings were always taught about everything that they did was for the whole unit. And I always talk about the unity conscious. So see how everything's kind of flowing together here? We have the 1111s, the 144, which is that harmonic unity consciousness, and Archangel Uriel working with us, and Gabriele, and why their energy is so present. Archangel Michael to help ground you, okay? He's helps to, you know, keep you from out of fear mode as you're moving through the different stages of your awakening, and for others. Yes. Okay, so I think we're coming to a close here. Regina is saying light in the infinite of the sky. Yes, absolutely. Infinite in the sky. All right, so if you guys want to pick your cards, I'm going to go through all of the cards now. And I picked a card for the group, which I didn't reveal, but I'm going to reveal now. All right, so card number 1 is Eternal Love. Oh my God, Regina, look at this. Eternal Love. I'm not even kidding. So here we go. This is, and it has the symbol of the infinite in here. So when I do these card readings, it's for all of the people, the collective audience who is working today. And eternal love is happiness, harmony. It is about like a new page. It is a new beginning. And how perfect this is for what we were talking about. It's replenishing your mind. It's replenishing your body and your spirit. It is about connecting to, you know, as above, so below, right? We have the earth and the sky and the rainbow there. So this is a beautiful card. It's going out and soaking up the rays, the healing rays of the sun. Okay, so if you picked number 1, card number 1, this is basically what this whole Facebook Live has been about. So cool. Isn't that really cool? All right, so card number 2. All righty, look at this. All right, Goddess of Creation. What were we talking about? We were talking about the creative energy. I swear to God, you can't even make this stuff up. Like, you know, this is absolutely perfect. Goddess of Creation. Awakening the goddess within, the goddess of Mother Earth. It is this card really represents exactly everything that I was talking about. You're going to go through being a representative of the earth, okay? You are walking through the ascension process with Gaia, okay? When you start going through the different light level stages, there's even an awakening that you have to the earth, right? I know for me, I mean, not that I was, you know, not an earth person or a tree person before, but when I really started bringing in more light of my body and my body vibration was rising, it gets to the point where I want to hug every tree. I notice every flower, every bug, every animal you feel connected to. That is the goddess of creation, because remember, I am you, you are me. There's no separation. That's what the 144 represents. It is complete unity. And that's the end of days. And now, the Kali Yuga that I was just talking about, and the new age of Gaia, and that whole frequency of unity consciousness. So this is, you being infinite and feeling that infinite creator within you. So this is perfect. So that's card number 2 for those who picked card number 2. And card number 3, Gaia. 1, not 2. Michael, you picked 1. Okay. All right, so that's eternal love, and we were talking about that. And look at this. Like, I'm not even joking. This is the card for the group, Gaia. So here we go. How perfect. It is wisdom. Remember that I was talking about the ancients, that the ancients' knowledge, about all these prophecies. That's part of it too. They were seated here to be these wisdom keepers, and for all of us to really go back to that. I know part of, when you're going through the light level process too, they were mentioning this earlier and I forgot to mention it. There's going to be a switch, which I was saying before, but also a switch where you want simplicity. You want to go back to simplicity. And Christ talked about this. I remember channeling Saint Francis. He's all about living simple and materialism. And you might notice that your thoughts and your perceptions about materialism and materials and having material possessions, that's what John Lennon was talking about. See, here we are. We'll come in my infinite connection here. And that's what Gaia represents. This card totally represents that, moving back to a time where we rely on each other, we rely on the land, we simplify our lives, we don't function or need things, materialistic things to fill us up, because we are eternally connected to Mother Earth and each other, and that's all we need. That's what John Lennon, that's the message of his whole song, right? Okay. So for those of you who picked card number 5, you got Gaia. So you might notice some changes with you thinking about the earth needing to go outside more and ground more, just really wanting to be outside. I'm outside all the time. I can't, even in the winter time. It's you get nourishment for being outside. I know my guides were talking to me yesterday. I put up a post up on Facebook about going out into nature, taking time now to slow down and regroup, because this past year has been, pretty busy. So going out into nature and really connecting. So there are all your cards. Okay, so the card that I picked for the group here, okay, look at this. This is Commander Ashtar. Yes, this is where we do not rely on, Regina is saying, where we don't rely on like electronics, getting away from the phone and not, relying on the computer and all of that. Now that we're going to be going into 5G, that's a whole other topic. But look at this. Ashtar Command. I literally was just talking about this when I was talking about the 144's and how they were prophesized in the Book of Revelations and the Emerald Tablets, Ashtar Command, and the Native Americans. So Ashtar Command's, his message is call to action. All right, so this is what I was saying in the beginning. You being called back to do something different, a higher purpose, being called back to do your healing work, to be the vision, to be the voice of Earth, to be the voice of, unity consciousness. Okay, hi Maria, welcome. So this is taking charge, leading by example. Wow, Spirit told me this when I first awakened. So many of you, when you start shifting and you're getting that click of that awakening and call back. You're going to start by leading by example. When you start to change and speak and be the voice of spirit and the voice of earth, you lead by example, okay? So that's part of, you think about it, like the unity consciousness too. So how amazing is that? I feel like I'm supposed to pull one more card for the group, so let me just, and if those of you who do not know who Ashtar Command is, you know, this is kind of going into like the galactic energies. Yeah, Maria is saying she's awakened. Very painful. If you go into the beginning of the Facebook, I talked a lot about the beginning stages of awakening and what physically your body goes through with those changes. But Ashtar Command is okay. So like when you really start to raise your vibration and you are dimensionally traveling, such as myself, I go into many different dimensions and I come across many different beings of light. This is a, you know, part of like the White Brotherhood and called Ashtar Commands, where they're basically patrolling the earth and helping us with this whole ascension process. So he's a wonderful, you know, powerful source to have on our side, you know, that is watching over earth and watching over us. I know this part of doing this work might be scary, or some people don't understand it yet, but as you become more connected and raising the vibration of your body, you will come to understand the galactic frequencies and the galactic energies that are assisting us. And Ashtar Command is one of them. Okay. The card that I picked for the group is Hope. Look how beautiful this card is, right? So it's love and acceptance. What is unity consciousness? There's no separation, which is what I was saying before, which is we're really starting to transition out of that, like, you know, even the separation with, you know, religions and stuff like that. So love and acceptance, we're really going to start. One, when you awaken, you start to love and accept yourself. You start to really have self-respect for yourself and start to change what you do and what you say and how you live. Live by example, what you put in your body, which is all what I said. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choosing loving thoughts. So this is a great card for those who are awakening, because it really, you start to go through that awakening process of knowing your divine worth. And that is the most beautiful thing, because you really start to understand the eternal love, that you are eternal love, that you are the goddess of creation and you are the representative of Gaia. All right, so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Regina is saying, yeah, beautiful cards, beautiful messages. They are always so on point. And I have to say, because he's coming into this space right now, Hilaron. I work a lot with Master Hilaron, and he is the ray of truth. So he emanates this green color. So a lot of you might be feeling pulled to the green energy, wearing green, or maybe wanting to paint your space green, or even seeing the green little orbs in the pictures when you take the pictures with the iPhones. But his energies just walked in. So for those of you who are watching this, he's going to be activated within you too. He is all about truth. Oh, and okay, so he blends science and spirituality. So think about, okay, the separation, right? The separation of, you know, people needing to have scientific evidence for, you know, in all this stuff that I'm talking about. He helps blend that. He helps people who are having difficulty, who are very linear, who are very in the mental body, who are intellectual, to help integrate that spirituality in them. And you can, okay, now I understand what he's saying to me is the 2020. We come into balance, right? So he's blending. All right. So basically he's saying he's going to be a major guide for us earth beings. That's what he's saying, for us earth beings here, for humanity. So definitely start connecting with his energy. It's Master Hilaron. He holds the ray of truth and that blending of science and spirituality. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, you can message me after. I'll put that symbol up. Please go to the 144 Lightworkers Unite, the New Golden Age of Gaia page that I just put up, and let's grow this community here on Long Island and worldwide of unity consciousness. I mean, how exciting. I am so excited to see where we all are in the next coming months, you know, as we are really starting to unfold in who we are as the divine creator, the infinite creators that we are. So thank you guys for all joining. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. And I love all of you so very much, and so grateful for your friendship. All right, I will talk to each of you soon and keep you posted with the next classes. Oh, I might as well just say that now. For those of you who are interested in the galactic understanding, I'm going to be teaching another 3 series classes. It's July. I wish it was July. January 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th, where I'm going to teach everybody about the fragmentation from source and how all the beings went to different star systems and the polarities of what they karmically healed, which is what we are all doing here on Earth. So each class we're going to learn you know, a couple different solar systems. We're going to travel to Vega and Lyra and Orion and Ceres and the Pleiades, and we're going to learn all about that. And I'm going to do a transmission with each class as well, so you are going to be getting a great galactic upgrade with your light body. And yes, Heidi, Happy New Year. Miss you too. So those are those classes. I'm having an Atlantis traveling. Speaking of golden age, of the new golden age of Gaia, it's very much connected to the golden age of Atlantis. So that I think is in February 6th. Is going to be that class here as well. So if any of that interests you and you want to join, just hit me up on the side. And Maria's asking, yeah, I'll connect with you, Maria, after this. I'll send you a message on Messenger. And I'm not going to be, I don't have any, Regina's asking if I'm going to be in Amityville. I haven't really done anything there in the last couple of months because with the holidays and everything, it's been a little, we don't have anything on the books. The galactic classes are going to be here. Like I said, January 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. And the Atlantis is going to be here too. I'm either going to also, I think Ash Wednesday, which is the end of February, I'm going to probably do a Blessed Mother channeling here and Ascended Masters, because they lined up coming in too. So, but I haven't put that up on Facebook. If you are friends with me on Facebook, all my events and channelings and offerings are on there. So you could always look that up. If it hasn't been personally sent to you as an invite, you can always go on, you know, the events page. And yes, Regina, they're going to be in my house. Yeah. So you've been here. So very powerful. Very, very powerful. Will open you up to the galactic connections, which is incredibly beautiful and blissful. And I look forward to sharing that. It's definitely one of my passions, to be the voice not only for Gaia but also for, you know, these higher realms. Okay, so with that, namaste, happy New Year's. Let's all join together in the 144 movement of unity consciousness, and I love you guys. All right, have a good night. Bye.